hike is like, oh, it's a walk in the park. That's a skip through gumdrop forest. Everyone's happy there. So for me, I think they're in a spot where they can avoid overcorrecting. They can keep raising it a little if they need to, but without having like severe adverse consequences. I like it. I like it. I fired off an email. I told Jared, I said, I like what you're saying. It's good. Okay. Yeah, look at that. It's smashed higher. We can say for the first time that the disinflationary process has started. They're seeing enough in the data that they're monitoring that they're, everyone's like, oh, they need to keep, and people are like, they can't keep. And it's like, I think they're leaving a nice open door, right? Of, hey, we're going to do one more. It's just a quarter point. You won't even notice. But the market is responding favorably to it, so we'll see what that does. What else? Ford price cut comes with key difference from Tesla. Peloton is, I don't know about Peloton. I don't know about that. Number one streamer, Netflix. Former Fed advisor, hopeful an upcoming recession is not in the cards. Yeah, I think we had our recession. Already. Wow, look at this number. Hackers lifted $2.2 billion. 3.8 trillion. Where did I get 2.2? $3.8 trillion stolen from hacks. Boy, that's a tough one. I mean, I think we're right around $1 trillion for the market, right? That's a pretty, I guess it's not that big. 10 billion would be 1%. The Singaporean cane would sort that out. Listen, Randall, I think the Singaporean cane would rectify many different ailments. Like, you will have a public thrashing, 20 licks from the cane. Yeah. Behavior changes, What else? That's about it for news. Let's look at the economic calendar. We know we still have more, right? But we know Monday we had nothing. Tuesday, employment cost index, not that big a deal, stayed. Home price, they're still falling. 3.1's not terrible. I think everyone assumed we'd have like maybe a 10 to 15% from high pullback. I don't know where we are relative to that, but certainly home prices have come down, but just marginally. Business barometer down slightly. This is a big one for me yesterday. I think, of course, you're going to see consumer confidence wane, but it's still staying pretty high, right? Like, I don't know why they were expecting it to raise a 0.5 point as a forecast. We dropped. It was a negative surprise, but it's the same kind of a thing. If consumer confidence continues to get higher, you would expect that confidence directly translates into willingness to buy. And we've seen the willingness to buy decline. We've seen sales go down. But remember that's what has to happen. We have to see sales go down. If sales stay up or continue climbing, then prices will stay up or continue climbing. When sales ease, when consumer confidence eases a little bit, that's when we know that's part of the disinflationary process. Now, so I'm not concerned about that miss. Okay, ADP reported this morning expecting 190 down from 250, and they got 106. This is private. So this is right about, I would say, from my understanding, and I may be wrong, I might have to look into this. If anyone knows better, please feel free to throw it out there. But what I would say is that's right around the level of maintenance, right? We'll maintain our unemployment rate, or any changes the unemployment rate made would be very marginal changes. Marginal changes. So the at this point, I would say this would maintain us. But the one thing the Fed said was they'd be willing to let unemployment go to 5.5%. We calculated it. That's about 2.7 million jobs, approximately. You need to, we're if you're gaining still 100,000, you're basically you're gaining jobs and you're maintaining the unemployment rate. Jobless claims come tomorrow, expected to be sub 200,000. So is there going to be a slowdown? Yeah, maybe. Manufacturing was down a little bit on ISM. S&P was up a little bit. Job openings jumped. We were down to 10.3 million. We were down to 10.4. They thought it was going to drop, and it jumped. There are plenty of job openings, right? So it's hard to expect the unemployment number or the job numbers to lessen by that much. Jer Bear speaking, Fed funds rate up 0.25%. Jer speaking, market liked it. Tomorrow, jobless claims, and then Friday, we have non-farm payrolls projected to come in at a positive 187,000. Even if they miss and get 100, 150, I don't think you'll see much negative reaction to that. So there you go. There you go. Let's look at the model. Ricardo says, Scott speaking, the market jumps. It triggered a little before. Maybe it was anticipation. It's buying the rumor, sell the news. Okay, SPY. Bullish. Slow and steady. We were looking for a bit of a retracement here, which clearly minimally came, and then today it's moving the other way. So we're going to have to look at that and what it does to our ability to find entries. We might have to revert into some type of a continuation style trade rather than a classic bounce trade. Here's the NASDAQ. NASDAQ's was calling for a couple of days sideways and then continuing on up. NASDAQ's up 2%. So, yeah. Here's the Dow. Okay. The Dow's the only one that's so far. We'll look at the IWM that's showing any kind of weakness, and it really is possibly a consolidation, possibly a bounce, mostly just sideways. So I'd say neutral, which is expected. And if everything else is getting better, if the NASDAQ's getting better, S&P's getting better, IWM is getting better, what would I expect from the Dow? It's slowing down. Even this one, it says neutral, but it still looks better than not. So I would say, this is definitely showing a market with a stronger appetite for risk, money flowing less into blue chips and more into aggressive components of the market like small caps and like technology. Fred said, what about a trade idea here on Apple? Of course I'm willing to look at Apple. But of course. Okay. Let's look at the seasonal update. And we know that as we come into, end of January into February, possibly a small pullback sideways overall. But coming here out of the first week, and you could argue for, even back here, but somewhere in the last week of Jan, first week of Feb, we get that nice first pop before a little sideways and then a pop all the way, right? Something along that. Okay. Here is the heat map. And energy is looking the worst for the wear. Mostly red and pretty heavily so. Technology looks good. Chips look good. Apple does not. Somebody mentioned about how about a trade on Apple? I absolutely would look at this and still be like, yeah, you know what? Maybe that Apple trade's setting up. You can see consumer defensive is lagging, but so is consumer cyclical. So the whole retail, the whole consumer sector, not doing well. Industrial's not doing well. That's interesting. But again, that might be it's just on a slightly different cycle. And if you're bullish, the pullback may be exactly what you're looking for. So don't look at the heat map and be like, oh, this is not good. Maybe it may be perfect. Maybe exactly what you're looking for. Healthcare is pretty mixed. I see some deep red, some deep green, some neutral. Overall, yeah, interesting. Communication services, somewhat mixed. Yeah, okay. Okay, let's do let's get our quiz. Let's get our quiz. We'll look at the VIX. We'll do a quick sector rotation, and then we'll dive into the, what just happened? Oh, yeah, sorry. There we go. I had no update. That makes more sense. Still energy down. Healthcare, but yeah, look at that. Nvidia 7%. Wow. Apple turning around. Sorry about that. I thought it had updated. I must have been pre-fed. Pre-speech rally. Much stronger looking chart here. Okay. We'll get to this in 1 second. Yeah, smash tire, pulling back. All right. How are we going to draw it? If you want to be an A, it's got to close at the high or near it. That's the range. A, B, C. 411.75 and 410. We'll go 410 even. 410 by 411.80. 411.80. Where's your? That's it. Above 411.80, you're an A. In between in this range, you're a B. Falling back down into the speech run up, you're a C. Oh, where's everybody? Ricardo is a B. Brad is a B. Fred is an A plus. He says it's going. Jacques is a B. Phil is a C. I'm going to join Phil. I think he's going to give a little bit back. Let's see what the model is. Anyone else want to put your answer in? Please do so. That's not what I wanted. Okay, let's see. Ooh, interesting. 410.69. 410.69. The model is a B. The model is a B. Fascinating. Fascinating. All right. Let's look at the market as it stands now. And we'll look at the VIX. Okay, let me erase my lines. Slowing down. That was a tough one, right? You would have had to have seen this here as the consolidation. You might have gotten your signal on this consolidation in turn, trading in front of the Fed announcement. You might have held off because of the Fed announcement. Yeah, I would imagine the VIX definitely at the low of the day. Let's go take a look at the VIX, then we'll do sector rotation. Jump into the watch list now. That there was definitely a lower high. It closed below this. I didn't do it here, but I did close. I said if I get that signal, I'm going to close any remaining hedges. So I did. I no longer have any hedges on because of that. And we'll see, what bullish trades may have developed. And like I said, if you hesitated, if you said, I saw some bullish signals, but I didn't trade it because of the Fed. I get it. We're still kind of in that type of a market. Eventually, you want to be thinking to yourself, do I just trade through these announcements based on what I see, knowing that, right, a lot of the expectations are already built in? So yeah, this is the lowest we've been, I think, since the pandemic, actually. Let's see. If I go back 2 years. Okay. Oh, no, I didn't realize we got that low right after the pandemic. Right after we got back down to about 15. It says 1410, but really it was about 15. And then we hit it again. And then we definitely saw this. I mean, this volatility up here has just been nasty. Post-pandemic, right? After that initial run, it's just been a bit crazy, but this looks pretty good. The highs are coming down, the lows are coming down. It definitely seems like a bullishness is still at play. If you're market posturing, high or low, let's go. If you're market posturing, let me know your score. I'm coming in at a 3.75. It's bullish. It's been bullish. It's not strongly bullish. It's just a little bit bullish. So there you go. Okay. Sector rotation real quickly. So we know energy's still just kind of sitting high from this perspective. We see a very clear surge here. It's still lagging, but this surge is going to show up when we change the chart perspectives. We're seeing a big surge in the consumer discretionary and communication services. Even from right now, you can kind of see healthcare just really dwindling a little bit, right? You can see staples just kind of dwindling a little bit, where you can see technology is trying to make a surge, financials trying to make a surge, consumer discretionary and communication services making a surge. You've got industrials and materials still showing up fairly strong. It's a positive sector rotation from this perspective. Let's dive in a little deeper. Look at the 133. Okay. Well, let me see. Why am I not advancing? 133. More of the same. They're on the bottom, but they're moving faster. So we we recognize, like, remember that this is about sector rotation. You got to look for the movement. We're not only just like, oh, here's this, there. You're looking at, where do I see this happening? Where do I see sideways? And we'll see it as we zoom in closer. When we get to 66, it starts to stand out a little more, right? You can see, man, look at discretionary, really surging. At this point, on the last 3 months, you've got materials leading, industrials, financials, communication services, technology. Down below, you have our 3 defensive sectors, staples, healthcare. Where's utilities? Utilities is coming. And so even though utilities is still here, it's coming down. And even though consumer discretionary is here, it's coming up. And we go down to a 22-day chart. The 2 strongest sectors have been communication services, consumer discretionary, followed by technology. Is that going to continue? Maybe. Is that what it needs to be for a, bullish market? Yeah. We've been talking about that. We've been waiting to see. Apple, a representation of that. So I think we're looking in the right places. Let's get into the watch list. Let's get into the watch list. I mean, honestly, you know what? That's yesterday would have been better, obviously, on this engulfing pattern. This was already going up. At this point, I think you're going to find a lot of Heikin-Ashis that look like this. This could be this next move right here. Just kind of moving along, boom. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. Could we see this thing make that same kind of a run? What would that look like? Let's just go from the body to the top. We'll go body. Whoops. We'll go. That's a nice looking move, potentially, right there. Yeah, okay. Alcoa, strong sector, strong stock. Absolutely worth looking at. Let's pause for a second. And IHI versus UNH. We'll take a look at those. Let me remind me when we get there alphabetically. Alcoa. Well, model disagrees with me. Not quite there yet. Not loving it. Fair enough. Stella, fair enough. Apple. Okay, so whoever said Apple, here's my problem. They report earnings tomorrow after market. I just don't want to trade in front of this, So we'll see. Okay. Let's get out of this, back to this. Otherwise, I would say I love it. Yeah, absolutely. Small consolidation popping. It's just you're right in front of earnings. If you don't mind earnings, yeah, there you go. ADI, look at that, smashing higher. ADM, still looking like trash. You actually said a potential for a bear trade more than anything else, and I still think that's the what you're looking at. AMD, so chips are looking like they're moving back into favor, continuing. Amazon earnings tomorrow. So it's like, can Apple and Amazon be catalysts in a retracement? Yeah, of course, right? If all of a sudden everyone's like, hey, everything's great, and then these behemoths say, oh man, earnings was garbage, was trash, it's not great, right? Absolutely could still be some sort of a downward catalyst. We did nothing on AXP because of earnings. Gapped up. It's just kind of sitting there. I think I'd be waiting for this thing to retrace still, but overall, it looks very bullish. Boeing earnings. Boeing gave a signal here. Some of you may have seen it and traded it. You'd be up a little bit now. Nothing enormous. Alibaba, there's the consolidation. This is definitely, if you were going to trade a Chinese stock, and I would imagine FXI is going to look similar. That's definitely a signal right there. This is hooked. This is pinched. It hasn't turned, but it's pinched. You could still possibly wait for that confirmation. Let's see what the model says. What does the model say about Alibaba? Oh man, Stella and I thought we had made progress. Maybe one more day on that. Baidu's off to the races. I believe it. BIDU. Oh man, 14%. Here's IHI smashing higher. UNH. In that comparison, I like IHI better. If you're doing a long run trade, you need to change your perspective though and say, what does it look like on the 3 years? So here's IHI. It's come out of, it's already had a higher low. Would have liked to have gotten in here at 52. It's at 55, but definitely looking better. Looking a little overbought now. See, this one just made a new low. It still seems to be on its way down. I don't know. That's a good question. Okay, where were we? Baba Caterpillar. Okay, so earnings 394. They got 386. Came down today, slowing down. I like it still. I want to traded it back here. I want to trade it again. Caterpillar still a nice looking horse, I believe. Stella's not really agreeing with me. These retracements are more than she likes to see. Oh, there we go. Some confluence amongst us. That's what I'm looking for right there. Is that type of a turn. So I'd say Caterpillar looks probably the best so far by way of opportunities. But it's not a signal. It's just a setup. The trigger would be tomorrow, possibly Friday. Right? Why? Well, it's technically still coming down. It's slowing down. That looks like that could definitely be a hammer. Right? But there's no confirmation to that yet. Oh, ConocoPhillips earnings just kind of grinding higher. Costco smashing higher. Need a consolidation still. DBC maybe finding some support. I still need a bullish day, but it does look like it's trying to, come out of this. If I were to draw some lines. This is coming down like this. This is what we were doing. We broke out of it. Pulling back. This looks like it's trying to turn. Maybe a buy entry right around here. If it pops out of this thing, we think that it might continue, and then so okay. Okay. John Deere. Yeah, it gave a decent signal back here. It's grinding higher. There's nothing there now. DIA kind of bumping against resistance. DIS. Disney. I would actually say that's viable there. You have until the 8th. You have until the 8th after market, which is, I believe, a full week. So you have Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I wonder if this would have Heiken Ashi in place yet. It'd be close, if not very close. I'd put Disney on the list. Disney and Caterpillar so far, probably the Caterpillar. I'd say this one actually has more of a trigger. Caterpillar still needs another day to confirm the price action in your favor. Let's take a look at Disney. Walt Disney and Co. looking bullish. It's not like a smashing higher kind of move, but it's definitely moving higher. I forgot about Alcoa, and I'd say FCX as well. Both FCX and Alcoa are good representations of basic material opportunities. FedEx, look at FedEx. Bam, bam. 2 big days in a row. Not much there for us. Can't really chase into it. FXI, very similar Baba. Personal preference here, I would say gold. Gold is turned. I would say you really started getting your signal here when it engulfed. I don't need this stochastics to cross if I have the right pattern up here where I say, oh, I have an engulfing, or this isn't technically a candle pattern. It is a candle that closed higher than the previous day at a support level where I'm like, oh, okay. I haven't been trading the precious metals. So I would say that met my rules for a signal yesterday if I was trading gold right now. Where were we? Goldman Sachs. A little too far gone already. You can see waiting to catch these things down here. Even if you caught it on this 3rd day and it was already right, you still caught most of this move. You're not trying to catch it down there. If you do, it could be dangerous, right? Maybe you are, but that can be dangerous. IWM looks very bullish still. Jets looks like it could be turning. Kind of grinding sideways, but we do know that money is flowing into this sector again. That's what sector information says right now. MasterCard looks like it's turning. Coming out after this weird earnings with the inside candle. Let's see if Stella likes this one. Do you like it? Not bad. Not bad. So far, it seems like what? Disney or Alcoa? Let me see. Alcoa has a hell of a signal. Yeah, we'll look at both. Maybe we'll look at both. Implied volatility is pretty low on Alcoa right now. That's nice. Okay, let me get through the rest of this list real quickly here. MasterCard, okay, MasterCard is good. Meta has earnings coming out after market close. You're going to hold off on that one. Marvell, strong, but it's already moving. Same with Microsoft. Netflix, that's viable. Absolutely a viable trade. Hope, you want to be careful because you don't want to take too much risk, but that's definitely a viable entry trigger. NVIDIA smashing higher. There's no room on those right now. Oracle looks okay. These are the kind of trades you want to do early. Yeah, QQQ looks quite strong, up 3% today. Starbucks, if you're in it, tomorrow's your day to get out. Nice signal given back here. It's made a nice move. Let me know if you're in that one. Silver just grinding downward sideways. Semiconductors smashing higher. Okay. Toll Brothers. Still strong. Tesla. Trying. Man, UNG is something. Who's a natural gas person? What the hell is going on with natural gas? I mean, we're like 60% of pre-pandemic or pre-invasion. Crazy. Crazy. Visa. I like MasterCard better. VIX. Man, the VIX is pretty low. XLF looks strong. XLI kind of tepid. XLP kind of tepid. Yeah, let's go look at let's look at AA. So AA, the concern is it's up almost 4.5% right now. But I'm not going to put my stop down here. I'm going to put my stop here. So instead of having to stop down at 49, I'm going to be able to get my stop underneath here at $50.80. We'll go 1% below this hike and edge. That's $50 and 80 cents. Okay. How long do we need? This says we need until February 12th. So let's just get the 19th and see what that does. It gives us an extra little bit of time. February 17th, I guess it is. Go with these 50. Well, let's see. Where's our target? If we catch this move again, and you can see this move is not all that rare. You did exactly that same move right here. Yeah. Just had a cup and handle type pattern. This would be the handle breaking out. Target price 63.80. If I go a little out of the money, I mean, I could go to the 60s. This is an all or nothing trade. Yeah. I'm risking everything if I do this trade. So I could basically say I'm willing to do $200 of risk. 5 contracts is a little too much. 1, 2, 3. There. 230. About $200 of risk. If it gets to my target, even if it takes the full 2 weeks, I'm still going to get 1,300, somewhere between 13 and 1,700 profit for 200 risk. If it gets to my target. Now, if it only gets to 62, I'm still getting somewhere between 600 and 1,200. So that is 3 to 1, upwards of 6 to 1. I've got 2 weeks and change. Yeah. Yeah. Where's the market now? How much time do we have? Okay, let's see where this thing is. Alcoa right now for this trade. February 60s. Naturals 59, mid 54. I bet 55. Yeah. Would I suggest purchasing the stocks? Just a different trade. It's the same trade. You're getting a good reward to risk ratio. It's just tying up a lot more capital. But yeah, you could get in 53. That's a pretty good fill. $50. Let me see. Wow, 50 is a great fill. I didn't get 54 live. 55. All right. There you go. I like that trade, actually. I think it has some potential. What was the other one we were looking at? Alcoa and not Caterpillar. Caterpillar needs to fire a signal still. Was it MasterCard? Let's say as a composite, IHI versus UNH. For me, I would look at the weekly chart. I think that IHI has got a little bit better weekly chart. If you were going to do UNH for the long term, I would wait for the weekly chart to show more strength. If you were picking one now, I'd say pick the stock you like better. If you like IHI better, it's viable. If you like UNH better, it's needs a little more time. MasterCard. Lincoln Ashley says, not quite. So let's, put the stop underneath here. 367. And that's what I wanted to do. I want to draw a line. Now, same kind of move there. Same kind of move there. I'll probably lengthen it and flatten it a little bit. So let's say 405 by the 13th. 405 by the 13th. Okay, so let's come in here. We're looking at MasterCard. $405 on one side. And I think we said $365.5 on the other. One contract, 170. Oh no, we need to give this more time. 200 a risk, 1,400 a gain. Yeah, I like it. We've got a financial, we've got a materials, both a couple that look good. I still think that there's other signals. We got to wait for some earnings. There's other things developing. $390. I was going to say, this thing has come down quite a bit. I'm showing the price more at 164. I might do two of these at that price. No, 164. Oh, only 1 minute left. I'm trying for 164. Yeah, okay. I got 164. Let's see if we can just get this on. 164. Got it. Okay. Well, there you go. A couple of bullish trades to see if there's a little follow through. Risk is contained. Let's see what happens. Like I said, I'm more bullish than not. So yeah, let's see what happens. We'll look again on Friday. We'll see if any more signals start to develop. And we will go from there. Who won the contest? The contest is won by dun, 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 dun. Ooh, that was a nice little pullback. If that thing still moves, that was a nice little consolidation at the end of the day to shave some money off that entry. Bees. The bees have it. The bees have it. Didn't make it low enough for the C's. A's thought they had the breakout, and then it smashed back down right in the middle. Stella won, Bees won. All right, my friends, have a great rest of your day. I will see you on Friday morning for some early coffee. As always, happy trading.